When it comes to shop air, having dry and filtered air is the longevity to your tools. And that's where Tailonz 4-stage dryer system and tubing kit is definitely a huge upgrade to your shop air. Now, one of the steps in installing this kit here is having the block that comes through the garage wall. Now, you can actually use Tailonz kit here, but since I already had a 3/4 inch from Maxline, I decided to use that as my entry point, so that way if I ever decided to upgrade to a larger hose or fittings that I could do so. So the way this block works is that it's got 3 ports on the opposite side of the entry point. So I'll be using the standard 1/4 inch fitting coming through the wall that I can disconnect, but once I come into the garage, I've actually got 3 ports that I can choose from. But what I'll be doing right now is just using the 1 port that comes through the dryer system, and from there I'll create the manifold that'll go throughout the garage walls. So we got our appropriate size hole drilled. Now we just need to mount it. So I'm definitely digging the upgrade on the 4-stage over the 2-stage. So what I need to do now is open it back up and get all the fittings good and tight and make sure all my valves are oriented correctly. And that's going to wrap up our Tailonz pneumatic 4-stage dryer system here. So now I'll go back and I'll update the line coming in as well as going out with the air tubing and the plumbing of that. But right now this is a win, and I'm super satisfied with how easy it came together and just the quality of this. And when you look at the price of the box stores, hey, it's much more affordable. Now you can get this in the 3-stage system or the 4-stage system, and that can be half, 3/8, 1/4. So you got different sizes available. Now this right here is the 1/2 inch setup. It's got the gauge that comes with it up to 240 PSI, the 4-stage system here. And you get the plumbing kit option to be able to add on far as all the blocks and all the tubing for that coming from Tailonz also. So if you want to find more details on updating your shop air, check the link down below, guys. You will not be disappointed in this. So if we talk about some of the details on this, the way that I've got this set up is just your standard fitting here, and that's going to be a 1/2 inch to that 1/4 fitting that comes with the kit here. Now at this point, I've got a ball valve coming from the compressor that's going to cut off all air supply to the separator, regulator, and so forth. Now once you leave that, then you can personalize on, do you want your standard fittings here or your hoses, and where do you want to put your ball valves. But what I'm looking at is having, shop air. I'm also looking to have the pneumatic air hose reel, having a place for the plasma table, as well as plasma cutters, and then your local air. So I wanted to have a manifold that's going to give me more options with that, and I'll go back and change this out to brass and copper. But right now I've got air flowing through the system. I can hook up the plasma and I'm ready to go. Hey, so when you look at this setup here, you can see that right now we're set on about 95 PSI. I keep a double gauge on that just for a second opinion. So if we want to drop the air off the system here, so we've got our ball valve closing the air off. We now have no air in the system. So we want to talk about some of the details. This right here is your typical dryer setup here, your separator. You got a nice O-ring to it, nice clean chamber. Now you can get this in a manual drain or an automated. So once you leave this port here, you've actually got the regulator that you can regulate the air pressure throughout the air system. Now here is actually a secondary dryer that's going to pick up whatever this one here leaves behind. Now one thing I like about all of these here, they've got a sight glass on them, letting you know how much moisture is inside of it. Or if you got the the beads on this, it'll let you know, because the beads, when they're new, they're blue, and as they get more condensed with moisture, they start turning purple. So a clear indicator to let you know when it's time to change, as well as the top to be able to give you that sight glass also. So this right here is the 3 or the 4-stage setup, and it's just basically another chamber full of beads here. So I just still need to get the beads installed in it, but at this point I've got a shut-off valve that'll shut off to all of the shop air through the plumbing and the tubing. Then I'll have this port here that automatically closes when you don't have the hose connected to it. This will be free at the time. Now this right here is also going to be a local, and then far as a plasma cutter that I can move around, or the plasma table that'll be stationary, and that'll run through another separator and regulator that I'll pick up from Tailonz, probably the 2 or the 3-stage kit, just to clean the shop air before it goes into the plasma table. So when it comes down to it, the quality, the price, the customer service, hey, Tailonz is where it's at. So, save your money for going to the box store. Check it out, the link down below. You can get this on this site here or over in the jungle, either one. But, when you start adding the ball valves and the extras and things along those lines, that will be something you have to pick up. But as far as the tubing kit, you come with a few extra blocks. You've got some tubing as well as some elbows. So, all in all, straight up kit here. So, coming from Tailonz Pneumatic Air Tubing Setup,